everybody, I'm Alex.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back to our channel.
So, for today's video, we wanted to do something a little more on the serious side. We've already kind of introduced ourselves and all of that fun stuff, but we wanted to talk today about something a little more serious. We both have had struggles with like anxiety and phobias. Primarily Alex, he has a phobia called agoraphobia, where it's basically when, you leave your house, you get panicked and anxious and everything, and it's a horrible thing to go through. So we kind of wanted to make this video just to talk about Alex and his agoraphobia and what he's done to improve and how it's all been. So why don't you give us a little story on it?
Okay, so it was actually towards the end of 2016 that I had lost a very dear friend of mine, somebody who I've been so close to for a number of years, and losing her had really hit me very hard. Now, prior to that, I had been dealing with depression. I had been dealing with, my own anxiety and really a lot of undiagnosed other issues that I'll be happy to get into. It really kind of hit me a little hard when she passed. And I'll never forget, I was actually at this Christmas function at my job at the time. And I was sitting there eating, and I had just eaten, and I felt okay. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just felt really nauseous and really sick. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I ran to the bathroom thinking I'm going to get sick. And then all of a sudden, this weird anxiety came over me where I was like, oh my gosh, if I get sick right now, I'm really far from home. So that whole thing started working in my mind, and when that seed is planted, it just became this big hedge of anxiety and just awful. So I started to retreat less and less. I actually had lost a job over it, and that was really rough because I absolutely loved that job. And, so when I actually met Chris, I was actually at home. I wasn't really going anywhere. I really didn't do much. I would say I probably lost a lot of friends in the process, too.
And we met in May 2018, and you said this agoraphobia really started at the end of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So all of 2017, you were just home.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of 2018. How was that?
It was hard. It was very hard. When, your cousins and have, little kids and stuff, and your cousins get married and everything, you want to be there for them, but you can't. And that was really hard for me. That was really difficult as well, because I've always been a very family-oriented person. I was always with my family. But knowing that I couldn't be there was literally one of the worst and most heartbreaking experiences I've ever gone through. So
we'll get you to see them again very soon.
And so basically, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, let me know some of your symptoms, and I explained to her what I had and everything. Hi, Nick.
Oh, you want to say hi to the camera? Come here. Come here.
Make myself sound, silly. Alright.
We have a surprise guest.
My kitty.
This is Alex's kitty, Nikki. I call her Thicky.
'Cause she thick.
'Cause she thick.
So she's in our shot.
Okay. So you went to the doctor and
yes.
told them your symptoms.
I told her my symptoms, and she basically said, oh, you have OCD. I'm like, what? And I'd always kind of joked, oh, I'm a germaphobe, I have OCD. I've always kind of joked about it. But I kind of realized that I really do, and it's really bad.
Me too.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It really is horrible. And a lot of people think, oh, OCD is all about, cleaning, and it's all about having everything perfect, and it's really not. It's...
Well, we're both kind of the same, because I have that too, where, we both wash our hands, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For me, we both kind of described, when we go out and stuff, when you go to stores, your hands, even though you can't see anything,
You can
just,
feel it.
Feel it.
It's like a film is on your
Yeah,
hands.
yeah,
It's
but-
disgusting.
But your doctor said you had all those things.
I have. So, if I am being completely honest, I have anxiety, agoraphobia, which I'm working through, depression, OCD, panic attacks, PTSD, and emetophobia.
Sounds like a perfect cocktail of amazing emotions that I'm sure you've gone through.
Oh, yes. So, it's kind of funny because I was like, wow, like learning all this stuff about myself, it's like, oh, I was like a ticking time bomb and the bomb
Yeah.
finally blew. Like,
So, dealing with this agoraphobia, being in your house for almost 2 years, what have you done to improve? What improvements have you made since the beginning?
Well, my biggest concern was throwing up in public, and that's always been a weird thing for me. I just hated the idea that I was going to be, somewhere far away from home, get sick, and have to wait for somebody to come pick me up, and then God only knows what happens in that amount of time. So, my doctor, through many trial and error, we've gone through a few medicines, and I'm finally on one now that I have been noticing myself. I'm a lot different. I think you noticed that. My parents noticed that. My family is really happy that I'm finally getting out again. And I mean, we're not going to across the country, which we will eventually.
Yes, that's one of our goals.
Yes. But it's the little steps, and that's the one thing I like the most about it, is that I am able to do this on my own terms, and throughout that, like, I'm learning to push myself, not too much, but just enough that I can actually work my way through this again.
So I remember I met him back in May, and when I met him, you weren't even leaving the house, and we started out small, because I kind of have gone through something similar as him, not as extreme. I've always had anxiety myself, and also I have emetophobia, which is the fear of throwing up. And I remember that was something like when we met initially and you explained what you went through and I told you I had emetophobia and you're like, oh my god, me too. I'm like, oh my god.
It's like, that's how my agoraphobia started.
Like that's how we like fell in love with
know,
like
it's-
emetophobia. And well, a lot of other stuff. But I thought
Our
it was
mental
kinda-
illness has brought us together.
I thought it was really like I felt like I was the only like 20-ish year old guy that had emetophobia.
Yeah, because apparently emetophobia is really big in women,
It is.
they've said. And I thought that was really odd. I was like, oh wow, okay.
I know. But yeah, so, I have gone through emetophobia as well. I mean, pretty much my whole life. It's gotten a lot better, but it would like get to the point where I was like him, where if I was somewhere and I would get sick, I had that fear of like, oh my god, am I gonna throw up like out in public? Like that was like a terrifying idea for me. So I had that for like pretty much my whole life. But then I lost my mom back in 2011. I was 19, and that was just kind of like a breaking point for me, where for a while I would only work. Basically, I would just work. Like any social events, I would get so anxious and stressed, and I'd feel sick all the time, and I didn't really leave the house besides for work. But what I did was I slowly started coming out my shell again, trying to push those boundaries just a little bit, going to little events and everything, and it's gotten a lot better. And now I'm, driving to see you. I went to Florida a couple years ago. I've done a lot of stuff that I never thought I would do. So it's definitely, I mean, I haven't gone exactly with what you've gone through, but it's definitely a lot of similarities.
Right.
So when I met him in May, I told him what I went through, and I told him how I kind of like, stretched the boundaries just like a little bit. And initially, you were only like driving around like your neighborhood. Remember
Right.
that? Like he couldn't even go to
That was barely.
You couldn't even go to a red light without feeling panicked, because like when you're at a red light, you feel like you don't have that escape.
Right.
And that's like a big thing with like dealing with this kind of anxiety. Like you always feel like you need like an escape. So, you slowly started driving more, right?
Mhm.
And eventually he went through the red light, no
And
problem.
The medicine kicked
And then the
in.
medicine was kicking in, and plus you were like, the more you were going out, the easier it got. You're like, oh wow, I can do this. And now we're at the point where, you know, like you said, we're not going cross country. We're not even going like an hour, but we're driving like a little bit away to like nearby stores and stuff. And he's driving, I'm driving him, he's driving me. We've taken different vehicles. Nothing's happened. So you've definitely made a lot of progress in these 4 months I've met you. And I remember when I met him and he told me this, you were like really scared.
I was, because like I started developing feelings for you, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna hear this, and he's gonna be like,
Yeah, you thought I was gonna be like, skirt, skirt, bye. But what did I do? I came closer.
we got closer.
And it's just like oh,
I think that was me.
oh yeah, you banged the wall. He has a zoo here.
Honestly, meeting Chris and having somebody understand what I've been going through this entire time has been a real godsend, to say the least. It's funny because like when you try to explain to people the issues that we have, like with the emetophobia and the agoraphobia and the anxiety and the depression and all that stuff, like they kind of understand to an extent, whereas I feel like you kind of understood to like that next level. They're like, oh yeah, I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking
because
about.
I mean, like I said, I wasn't exactly like you where I didn't leave the house for anything.
Right.
But, you know, there was a time in my life where I would really only go to work and then just stay home, you know? Because just I was in such a bad place in my life. But, you know, I pushed the boundaries and it helped me. And it's been helping you too, hasn't it? Like, you know, and now he's been, like I said, going to different stores now, which is awesome. And all of that. So, what are like some of your next goals after these stores that we've been going to? Like, what do you think you want to work for next?
Honestly, I definitely want to work towards going to your house and seeing
Yeah.
you and your family.
Me and my dad, my family, my cats.
I definitely think I would like to go to see like my family and stuff.
Yes, I'd love to meet your family too. I'm really looking forward to
They are
meeting
too.
his family.
They're looking forward to it too, so I'm excited.
Good.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, just being able to go out and do things with you and not have to worry about, you know, those feelings of anxiety, which I won't lie, I still get from time to time, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. So, and thankfully, actually today or yesterday, I had a little moment where I was feeling weird, and thanks to Chris here, he talked me through it, and
Yeah, I was just, we were driving yesterday and he wanted to go like a bit farther than he has ever gone before. Where no, Alex has gone before. He wanted to go to a car dealership because, you know, like we said in the past, we really like cars and
Right.
we just wanted to check some cars out. When we were on our way there, we pulled in and you said you felt weird.
yeah, 'cause
So-
I think because there was like a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it was
going
really
on,
trafficy. It was like Friday rush hour.
Yeah.
And traffic, you know, it was a lot of stop and go. So, you know, he was like, oh, is it cool if we leave? And I said, that's fine. But I said, instead of going straight back home, like he usually would do when he'd be feeling a little panicked, I said, how about we go to one of the other stores that we've gone to before? Let's just go to the parking lot and then just, you know,
Relax.
take a moment. And, you know, I was just there with you. And he calmed down and we went to a few other stores after that. So, hey, making progress.
We are. I am. Yes.
And I promised him that I'd be by your side no matter what through this.
I
And
promise.
it's been an incredible journey so far. And I have no regrets. And I'm happy to be the one here for you through this. And I'm looking forward to where we will go next. But yeah, our eventual goal one day is to travel the country in an RV. You know, because there's so many places in America that we want to see. And an RV would be great because it's like, you know, you have everything you need just on the go.
And I hate flying, so.
Yeah, he hates flying, so that way we're on the ground and that way we can kind of go like at our own pace, you know.
And if we decide one day I don't feel like staying here anymore. Let's go somewhere totally different. We could be like, okay.
Yeah. So that's like his main goal. So that's like what we're like, we're working for, be able to travel around the country. And for that, meeting his family, him meeting mine. So definitely a lot of exciting things to look forward to and work for. And I'm really proud of all the progress he's made. It was actually funny when this was the first weekend where we left the house and we went somewhere together. And as soon as we left and we're like going like farther than we've ever gone together, I like started to cry in the car. Remember that? Because I was like, I'm so happy. Like I was just like, it was so emotional. Like I was so happy because like I felt bad that he was struggling with this because I could see like past that and I could see how amazing and pure of a person you are and how like it's just like going to the stores with him this weekend. It just felt so natural and so fun. So like, I fell in love with the agoraphobic Alex and I'll love the more socially outgoing Alex. I mean, either one's great. But I am looking forward to meeting the family.
I'm excited for it though.
But we just wanted to make this video to kind of explain why, our videos have mostly been in your house.
Right.
That kind of, explains why we've been here. I've been the one I've been visiting Alex. He hasn't been to my house yet. We are going to work for that eventually, and that's going to be really cool. I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm absolutely loving, like, because a lot of times when I come here, Alex has, like, tons of movies, so, like, we watch movies.
In case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, just a couple movies. We'll watch movies, we'll eat good food, hang out with his family, so, like, I think it's great. Like I said before, this is my first time being able to be in like a public, regular, happy relationship with an amazing guy. And, I have no complaints with everything that we've done. And I'm really excited to where we're going to go in the future. But yeah, we just wanted to make this video to explain why all of our videos were kind of here. And I just thought it would be fun for us to talk about it a little bit.
I agree.
But yeah, I guess that pretty much summarizes your story.
And I'm sure, like, as we go along and as things come up, we'll explain a little bit more and like how we feel about that certain moment. And yeah, so this isn't the end,
This is only the beginning.
It is.
We also filmed a little vlog today when we went out and about, so keep your eyes peeled for that as well. And we have plenty more video ideas coming up. So yeah, guys.
Once again, I'm Alex.
And I'm Chris, and we are signing out. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.